Before we start, I want to take a minute to just say thank you. Reaching another base 10 milestone so quickly is very exciting, and we are well on the way to the next one. Personally, I like the base 2 milestones, which we just broke 128 subscribers. Plus, this number looks even more impressive. On top of that, the support has been overwhelming, with so many positive and insightful comments. I do read every comment, but it is a lot to try to respond to all of them. So it is good to have the opportunity like this to answer some of the questions from the audience in more detail. On to the questions. First question from Angelad2 is a 3-parter. Epic wooden play button, I love it. Thank you. It is a little rough and I need to sand more, but it was fun to make. Question. My question is, what changes would you like to see in Yu-Gi-Oh? This is a really tricky question to answer, especially in a comprehensive yet concise manner. But the largest problem I have with Yu-Gi-Oh isn't mechanical in nature. I think the randomized products are manipulative and gambling adjacent. I would really like to see non-randomized products, such as the structure decks that we get now. What do you expect of Rush Duels? I think the fact that this is the third soft reboot of the game, with the first two being Duel Links and Speed Duels, is not a comforting sign. There seems to be a problem with complexity being a big barrier of entry for new players in the game, and these side products do not seem to have the same energy and support behind them. The way that content is recycled and redistributed in the reboots is sort of interesting because it encourages different cards to see play, but the insulated nature of the side games is a red flag. Hopefully they will not be underdeveloped and abandoned like Capsule and Dungeon Dice monsters. What are your favorite cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic? My favorite card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is My Body as a Shield. I love the artwork. I love the story of the bond between Marauding Captain and Gagiko. I love the flavor of the card, and although it is never meta-shaping, I like how it still sees some relevance from time to time. In Magic, I mostly like the card design of blue and black cards. Mechanically, I think Pox is one of my favorite cards, because it is so unique and interesting. It feels a little like Balance too, which is cool color pie contrast. As far as artwork, I actually like Mold Demon quite a lot. The Bereaved Relinquished Soul asks, what happened to our Yugi tubing? I miss it. I am just not cut out for community management. I'm sorry about that, and I feel like I started something that I did not have the time or wherewithal to follow through with. The intriguing Giga Gaming Gamer questions, what are your thoughts on the Digimon card game and its global release? It had done really well in Japan despite current events, and finally made its way to the Western market. I hope I am talking about the right one, namely this one. I've not had any experience, but I have seen some of the gameplay, and I think how both players can play simultaneously is very interesting, since it abandons normal turn structure. As far as impact on the market, there might be saturation and switching cost issues, and Digimon never quite had the same brand recognition that Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Had. But I would pick up a starter deck to try it out on paper at least. Pattern wonders, what new mechanic or combination of mechanics would make a new TCG really great from your perspective? This is a great question, and I have an idea for a bit of custom card creation for a future project, but that might be a while before it sees the light of day. As a quick answer pertaining to Yu-Gi-Oh!, better anti-meta and catch-up mechanics. The game struggles with OTK and FTK decks from format to format, and in general, there's a lack of meaningful interplay in a good number of games. It would be nice to see the game slow down to a point where it would not be uncommon for a game to last up to 20 turns. TCS Gaming has a statement and a question. Hey, TCGTheory, welcome back. I'm sorry I missed the Yu-Gi-Oh! Nostalgia Month 20. Thank you. To address the elephant in the room, the hiatus was unintentional, and I hope to maintain a normal production schedule of 1 or occasionally 2 videos a week. Yu-Gi-Oh! Nostalgia Month will hopefully be hosted annually. Fingers crossed. My question for you is, if you had to pick a competitive deck to play in 2020, which would you choose and why? If I'm not allowed to buy new cards, I would be using something like Barrier Statues or maybe my draft deck. If I am going to buy a full deck, I would probably choose something fun, like Chaos Satellar Knights with Blue Mountain Butterspy and a lot of recursion. This is not the most meta choice, but I really enjoy bringing something rogue to a tournament over something that is more consistent or with a higher win rate. John Doe and Angelad2 ask about more Rush Duel content. I think the Psychic monsters look nice, but the only one that really jumps out to me is Esperade of the Smashing Light, because it is a good catch-up card. But none of the winged beasts are too special either. Commenting about Rush Duels as a whole, the problem is twofold. The first being that the content is fairly time-sensitive, and does not have the best shelf life since it is speculative. This is also in conflict with the long production cycle, because it takes a good amount of time to script, record, and edit the videos, which flows into the second problem. That being, I do not want to dilute the quality of videos, either by rushing them or by saturating the channel with untimely news. I am thinking about some sort of coverage over new cards, events, and even the metagame, but it would come at the cost of sharp decrease in production quality for those segments, and as a result, I would want to host it on a different channel alongside other odds and ends. Olgrotha inquires, I forget, have you talked about MST's impact yet? I think I mentioned it in the History of the Banlist video, but I agree, Mystical Space Typhoon ate up so much design space that I would argue that even Galaxy Cyclone and Twin Twister haven't quite power crept the card yet. And finally, TCGT Plant asks, what is the planned trajectory for the channel? This ties in pretty well to a question Pedro asked. I'm very interested in TCG design. Are you planning to make videos more focused on other card games like Magic, Runeterra, and etc.? As far as the subject of the content, I am shooting for a video primarily about Yu-Gi-Oh!, but with occasional other games for comparative design analysis. Published every Friday. This is to streamline the main channel a bit, and there may be a migration of other content to the auxiliary channel to preserve the average video quality, where, if able, I would add some more topical content into the mix. Thank you once again for contributing to this milestone. I am very appreciative, and I will continue to strive to improve the quality. I can't yet imagine what the channel will be like when I eventually break the next milestone subscriber count. Until then, remember to take care and enjoy the show.